All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a battle that, honestly, every single one of us is fighting, every single day. It's this constant struggle to raise our own level of awareness in a world that often feels like it's designed to do the exact opposite. And this isn't just about feeling good. This is about winning the war for your own mind.
Does this sound familiar to you? I mean, it feels like fighting a war on two fronts, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the external world with all its pressures just draining you. And on the other, you're fighting your own internal battles, those old habits you just can't seem to kick. So the real question is, how do you fight and, more importantly, win on both fronts? Let's break down the strategy.
But hang on, before we jump into strategy, we have to understand the playing field. We got to get on the same page. What exactly is this consciousness that we're trying so hard to uplift?
Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine your brain is the hardware, the computer itself. And your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, that's all the software running on it. But consciousness, that's not the computer or the program. Consciousness is you, the one sitting at the screen just watching it all happen. You are the silent witness behind it all.
So this whole battle really boils down to a massive tug-of-war between these two states of being. On one side, you've got lower consciousness. This is reactive, it's survival mode, it's getting jerked around by fear, greed, you name it. But on the other side, that's higher consciousness. That's when you respond with clarity. You act from a place of purpose. One is basically a prison and the other is freedom.
And this is so critical because it's directly tied to your personal energy. Think about it. When you're in that lower state, your attention is all over the place, right? You're reacting to this, chasing that, your energy is just scattered. But when you operate from a higher, more unified state, your energy is focused, it's powerful. This is why winning this battle isn't some abstract mental exercise. It's about literally reclaiming your life force.
Okay, let's tackle that first front, the outer battlefield. We all know what this is. It's dealing with other people, navigating those tricky social dynamics where some folks, whether they mean to or not, just seem to have a way of dragging us right back down into our old, low-energy patterns.
So why does this even happen? Well, it usually comes down to one of three things. First, there's the mirror effect. When you start to grow, you're basically holding up a mirror to them, and maybe they don't like what they see. Second, it can be a straight-up control strategy. You know that one person who knows exactly which button to push to get you riled up? Yeah, that's them trying to control you. And third, sometimes it's just a competition tactic. If they can keep you stuck in a loop, you're wasting your energy, and that gives them an advantage.
So what's the game plan? How do you defend yourself against this? It's a two-part move. The first part is your internal shield. You have to learn to detach. You see them trying to hook you, and you just calmly tell yourself, nope, that's the old me, not who I am now. You watch it like it's a movie instead of starring in it. The second part is your external response. Keep your answers short. Redirect the conversation. And hey, if you have to, set a firm boundary. It's perfectly okay to limit your exposure.
And this all points to a really powerful principle. Human beings are a lot like tuning forks. The whole point isn't to fight back or to argue with the other tuning forks. The real work is to strengthen your own vibration, because when your inner state is strong and clear, you become the most powerful frequency in the room. You don't get pulled down into their chaos. They either have to rise to your level or they just kind of fade out of your life. Okay, we've talked about the outside world. Now let's turn inward to what is honestly the tougher battlefield, the one inside you. We're talking about the fight against your own programming, those ingrained habits, those deep-seated fears, those little compulsions that just seem to run on autopilot.
And this is the real deal. You could go live alone in a cave, and these old patterns would walk right in there with you. Some traditions call them vasanas. Modern science might call them engraved neural circuits. Whatever you call it, it's that knee-jerk urge to check your phone, or that sudden wave of procrastination. These are just old programs, running your life now, hijacking your attention and draining your energy.
So the strategy here isn't to declare war on these urges. You know the saying, what you resist persists? Instead, it's a three-step process. First, awareness. Just notice the urge. See it. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Just witness it. Second, rechannel. You take the raw energy behind that urge and you point it somewhere else, somewhere constructive. And third, rewire. You start engraving new pathways in your brain through consistent daily practice.
So, what does that rechanneling actually look like? Well, check this out. That raw, restless energy we often label as lust, don't try to stamp it out. Transmute it. Pour it into a powerful, creative project. That fiery energy of anger?
Instead of letting it burn things down, channel it into laser-focused, decisive action. And fear? Instead of letting it paralyze you, let it become the very fuel you use to build rock-solid discipline.
You see how this just completely reframes the whole inner battle? Your so-called lower tendencies aren't your enemies. They're like a powerful army of untrained soldiers just causing chaos. The goal isn't to destroy them. The goal is to give them a new general, your higher self, and get them to fight for your evolution, not against it.
So what happens when you start getting a handle on both of these battlefields, the inner and the outer? Well, the whole game changes. You stop playing defense, just trying to protect your energy. You start playing offense. You actually begin to positively influence the entire environment around you.
And this is the aspiration. This is the ultimate goal. To build an inner center of gravity that is so strong, so stable, that you become like a pillar in the middle of a hurricane. The winds of chaos, of negativity, of manipulation, they can be swirling all around you. But at your core, you remain completely still, unshaken.
Now, this doesn't happen overnight. It's a progression. It happens in stages. At first, you might be in what we can call protection mode. You're just starting out, so you consciously limit your exposure to negativity. Then as you get stronger, you enter neutral mode. Now you can be in chaotic environments without absorbing all that energy. Think of a lotus flower in a muddy pond. And finally, you reach radiation mode. This is where your calm, your clarity, your presence alone naturally starts to uplift everyone around you.
Okay, let's bring all of this back down to earth. What does this transformation actually look like in the real world? Because I promise you, this is not just some philosophical or spiritual idea. It has tangible, practical effects on every single part of your life.
I mean, just look at the difference here. At work, you move from constant burnout and dealing with office politics to a state of flow and natural leadership. In your relationships, that old neediness and lust get replaced by deep bonds and real love. And even when you're studying or learning something, procrastination gives way to deep learning and actual insight. The change is total.
And this really brings us to the core takeaway of all of this. Your number one job, your primary mission, is creating inner order. Because when you achieve that internal stability, even in the middle of all the external chaos, your world has no choice but to start reflecting it back to you. It's almost like a law of nature.
And that, right there, is the ultimate victory. All the manipulation, the triggers, the little games people play to try and pull you down, all of it just becomes powerless. And why? Because the inner buttons they were designed to push have been completely and totally removed. You've outgrown the game. So the only question left is, are you ready to start the training?